Hello, you magical moonbeam. Today I'll be sharing a story that's a little bit heavy. It's about eating disorders, so if that's triggering for you, please feel free to scroll away. If you'd like to stay, I have a bit of lavender essential oils to offer you. You can take some, dab it on the inside of the wrists and rub them together, perhaps a bit in each of the temples. Take a nice deep breath in, getting grounded. I was 8 when I started my first diet. I called it the sugar diet, and I would check the sugar count in ketchup, in whole milk, all the things to make sure that I wasn't eating too much of it. From there, it eventually developed into severe anorexia, bulimia nervosa, and bulimia athletica. It started with not eating for days on end. Then when I did eat, I tried to keep it under 500 calories. And eventually, when the body forced me to start eating again, I turned to bulimia. I would force myself to throw up after every meal. And a lot of what fueled this for me was self-hatred. I covered all of my mirrors with blankets and towels so that I couldn't see myself. I would put X's on my body with Sharpie in places that I wish I could cut off or I wish didn't exist. And in order to get through a workout, I would say things like, well, if you don't want to be fat, then you have to finish this rep. And that's how I continued. That was my fuel, is self-hatred. And so eventually I was starting to shut down. I was exhausted. I'd lost my menstrual cycle. My organs weren't functioning anymore. And I collapsed during a workout and lost consciousness. And I still couldn't see what was wrong. I thought, well, I'm losing weight. I'm finally becoming skinny. And I thought what I was doing was healthy. I thought I was just finally honoring my health. So eventually my mom convinced me to go to an eating disorder recovery coach who was absolutely amazing. And in one of the first few sessions, she handed me a mirror and she said, tell yourself that you love yourself, looking in the mirror. And I couldn't do it. I could not form the words. I couldn't get myself to say it. And so she said, okay, well, look at me and tell me the things that you tell yourself. Look at me and tell me that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, and there was no way. I mean, I adored this woman before me, and there was no way that I could talk to her the way that I spoke to myself. And so she told me, okay, well, we'll start with journaling. So every day I would write 3 reasons that I loved myself, even if they were a lie, even if they were completely false and I just made them up. And over time, they became real. Over time, I could truly and honestly say that I loved myself, but only on paper. And then eventually it got to the point where I could say it out loud, and within a few years I could say it in the mirror. But it was a process. And those affirmations, saying I love myself, that I'm beautiful, that I'm worthy, that I'm kind, rebuilding my confidence via neuroplasticity practices, which really is what affirmations are, truly and genuinely saved my life. I think without affirmations, I wouldn't be here. And so they just hold such an important place in my heart. I integrate them into all of my yoga classes, and I'm really excited because I have a workshop coming up on Valentine's Day that's going to be all about affirmations. I got everyone their own little mirrors that they can take home, and I'm gonna share this sacred and important practice with anyone who is interested. And it's going to be really life-changing for people's relationships with themselves, and I'm just so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to be able to share what changed my life so drastically with others, and I hope that it can change their life too. I hope you all have an absolutely beautiful day, and thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for hearing me. Bye-bye, sweet soul.